You ever get that feeling, that little bit of friction when you open ChatGPT to write something, but then you pause and you think, maybe Claude would structure this better? Or maybe perplexity for the search part.
Yeah, that feeling. It's like playing AI ping pong all day long.
Exactly. Switching tabs, comparing outputs, just trying to get the best possible result for like one single task. It gets exhausting.
Well, that friction, that's precisely the problem GenSpark is setting out to solve. It's pitched as this all-in-one AI that, you know, does the switching for you
Yeah,
automatically.
interesting. So welcome everyone to the deep dive. Today we're digging into a pretty comprehensive guide on GenSpark, and we're really focusing on its core idea, this multi-agent system.
Right. Think of it like your own personal assistant. You give it one prompt, one question, and it kind of secretly goes and asks three experts in this case, three top AI models, and then it synthesizes the best bits into one answer for you. So for you listening, especially if you're trying to learn fast and stay informed without just drowning in tabs and tools, our mission today is simple. We need to figure out, is GenSpark actually the shortcut it claims to be? Does it deliver?
Our roadmap today is pretty straightforward. We're going to dive deep into that multi-agent chat feature, which sounds like the main event.
Definitely. Then we'll explore its creative tools, images, video, that kind of stuff. We'll look at the productivity side, like generating slides and sheets. And finally, there's this almost sci-fi feature, the AI Calling Agent.
Yes.
Yeah, that one's wild.
Yeah.
But the whole package, the pitch is really compelling because of the value, right? It tries to do everything: chat, video, data analysis, even making phone calls for around $20 a month.
$20.
Yeah. So straight away, it's positioning itself as like a way cheaper option than subscribing to maybe 4 or 5 specialized expensive AI tools separately.
Okay, but the real innovation here, it seems, isn't just bundling, it's how it uses those tools.
Exactly.
Instead of you manually copying your prompt into GPT, then Claude, then Gemini, GenSpark takes your one prompt and routes it to all 3 models behind the scenes.
Simultaneously.
And then this is the key part. It analyzes or selects or maybe combines the results to give you just one, hopefully better response. That seems to be the core time saver.
That's the promise, yeah. Reducing that mental fatigue of constantly comparing. So let's really unpack that core engine first.
Yeah.
The multi-agent chat workflow.
Okay.
Because the frustration it aims to solve, I mean, it's real. You spend time crafting this perfect prompt for, say, ChatGPT.
Right.
Only to find the output structure is maybe a bit weak. So then you take that same prompt over to Claude. Maybe it's a little better, but you still kind of feel you should check Gemini too, just in case. Yeah, that whole dance. GenSpark basically says, stop dancing. One prompt goes out, and it hits GPT-5, Claude Sonnet 4, and Gemini 2.5 flush, all at once.
And then comes the smart step, as the source called it, the cohesion layer. It looks at all 3 outputs and decides how to combine them, or maybe just pick the best one overall. It's leveraging the unique strengths of each model, supposedly.
Yeah, and it's also efficient with your tokens. You know,
Yeah.
tokens are basically the currency AI models use, like the words they process, input and output.
Right, they charge based on usage.
Exactly. So because you only prompt once with GenSpark, you only spend those tokens once, not 3 times for the same result. Saves cost and time.
Okay, let's make this concrete. The source had a really complex example, a case study. We asked GenSpark to play the role of a senior marketing expert.
Okay.
And the task was to analyze a competitor called EcoBottle. This wasn't just like summarize their website.
No, this was a heavy lift. It was actually a 4-part task rolled into one prompt.
Right.
It had to do 1, the role play itself, 2, a full SWOT analysis, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. 3, come up with 3 creative counter-marketing strategies, and 4, actually write content, specifically a 5-tweet thread based on those strategies.
Oh. Okay, that's a massive, multi-layered request for any AI.
Hold on a sec, though. This idea of combining outputs from 3 different AIs,
Yeah.
it sounds potentially, well, messy. How does GenSpark make sure you don't just get a Frankenstein answer that kind of loses the point? What did the source say about that cohesion part?
That's a fair question. The idea
Yeah.
isn't just mashing text together. It's about extracting the best component from each model suiting for that specific part of the task.
Okay.
So for that EcoBottle example, it probably pulled the really structured, logical SWOT analysis maybe from Claude, because Claude's good at reasoning.
Right. Then maybe it grabbed the most out there creative marketing ideas from Gemini. And then it might use GPT-5, which is often great at writing, to actually polish the language and stitch the whole thing together into a cohesive professional response.
Ah, okay. So it's like having a specialist team working on the different parts of the problem, not just three generalists shouting answers. That makes more sense.
Exactly. And looking at the results from that example,
Hmm.
the level of detail was impressive. Like the AI noted the competitor, Eco Bottle, is tapping into this huge eco-friendly bottle market. It even pulled a specific stat, projected to hit $18.49 billion by 2032.
Oh.
That specific data point alone adds a ton of value to the market analysis section.
Absolutely. And those counter strategies it came up with, some were genuinely clever, like one called the Lifetime Impact Dashboard.
What was that?
Instead of just making vague sustainability claims, it proposed giving customers a real-time dashboard showing the positive environmental impact of using their bottle over time. Kind of gamified sustainability.
That's smart. And the other one you mentioned,
Yeah.
strategy too. Yeah, that tackled the circular economy idea head on. It was called the Trade-in and Transform program. The AI suggested accepting any brand's old bottle, not just their own, for recycling or repurposing when a customer buys a new one.
That's really smart competitive positioning. Okay, so beyond just efficiency, how does GenSpark ensure that synthesis, that combining of the three models, actually improves the overall quality of the answer?
Well, like we discussed, it leverages the unique strengths of each model simultaneously for different parts of the task.
Okay, got it. Let's shift gears now to the creative side. The multi-agent tools for images and video, is the process similar there?
Pretty much, yeah. Same principle. Instead of relying on just one image generator, it runs your prompt through several heavy hitters. They mentioned Nano Banana,
Mhm.
ByteDance Seed Dream, that's from the TikTok parent company,
Right.
and GTT Image, which uses a DALL-E technology, so you get results influenced by different training data and styles.
And the example prompt they used was really specific, wasn't it? That Hanoi sidewalk cafe scene. Oh, yeah, super detailed. They wanted photorealistic, but also a specific 16.9 aspect ratio, visual details like condensation on the iced coffee glass, raindrops on the window pane, mhm, and even a specific mood, quiet, cinematic, nostalgic. That level of control is what pros need, definitely. And the guide gave a good tip. Always try to use a reference image if you have one. Or if you just have a vague idea, use their auto prompt feature to flesh it out into a more detailed description for the AI. Good advice. Now on to video. The key insight here was great AI video starts with a great starting image. You can't just skip that composition step. Makes sense. Garbage in, garbage out applies to the starting frame too.
Right. And for video generation, it uses models like VO3, Cdance Lite, Pixverse V5 again, pulling from different specialized engines.
And the prompt for the video was layered on top of the image prompt.
Exactly. They took that perfect Hanoi coffee image and then commanded multiple precise layers of motion. Things like a slow camera zoom, a dolly zoom effect,
Now,
raindrops slowly sliding down the window, and those blurry neon lights in the background. They wanted them to gently flicker.
wow, that's intricate. Yeah. And they even added a specific negative constraint. Absolutely no steam or smoke. Because remember, it was an iced coffee, right? Details matter.
Whoa. I mean, just imagine scaling that level of precise, multi-layered motion control, doing that across hundreds of marketing assets every single day. That's a huge capability boost right there.
It really is. But let's play devil's advocate again. Is the trade-off in quality acceptable? I mean, integrating image, video, chat all in one place is convenient, but are these the absolute best-in-class models for each specific task or just good models?
That's where. For rapid content creation, for budget-conscious teams, small businesses, yeah, probably. The output they showed was solid, it was robust, definitely good enough for quick prototyping, social media posts, internal stuff. Maybe not Hollywood VFX, but very usable.
So it's solid and good enough for fast content creation needs.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. Let's transition then from the creative tools to pure productivity, starting with AI slides. Right. The utility here seems pretty clear. Taking an idea, maybe even just a structured outline, and quickly turning it into a presentation slide deck. Apparently, it's also helpful just for clarifying your own thinking.
Yeah, forcing structure onto an idea.
Yeah.
We tested this with another detailed prompt, creating a 15-slide internal training deck for new B2B sales hires.
Okay.
And critically, we didn't just say, make a sales training. We gave it a very structured 9-part outline. Everything from what is B2B and understanding the sales funnel through to using CRM software and ending with a quick quiz.
And that structure is key. It turns the AI from being a guesser, where results can be kind of hit or miss, into more of an efficient worker filling in the blanks you've already defined. Exactly, but there was a limitation noted here too, right? Yeah. Feedback was the structure and content of the slides were functional, often pretty good. But the design, not so much. The slides weren't beautiful. They'd likely need polishing afterwards in something like PowerPoint or Keynote. Okay, so great for a first draft of the content and flow, but expect to do design work. That's an important caveat.
Definitely.
AI Sheets. Doing market research in minutes. The source mentioned something interesting here, that a lot of users are kind of scared of complex spreadsheets.
Yeah, that spreadsheet intimidation is real. So this feature tries to bridge that gap. The test prompt was pretty ambitious, asking the AI to research and gather competitor data, putting it directly into a spreadsheet.
Okay. The specific market was mid-range smartphones in Vietnam, looking ahead to 2025 data. Highly specific.
And you could specify the columns you wanted.
Yep. We asked for columns like brand, popular model in that category, the price range, specifically 5 to 8 million Vietnamese Dong key specs, estimated market share, their marketing slogan, and user ratings.
Wow. So you basically get a mini market research report generated into a usable table in like under a minute.
That's the idea. And the utility doesn't stop there. You can then apparently ask GenSpark follow-up questions like turn this data into charts or even use it for some basic financial planning based on the market numbers.
Okay, that's powerful. But given the complexity there, synthesizing research data into specific columns, how critical is fact-checking on the data that AI Sheets generates, especially with market share estimates and things like that? Yeah, the advice was clear. Always fact-check important data, especially if you're going to present it publicly or make decisions based on it. Treat it as a powerful starting point. So always fact-check important content before public presentation.
Got it. All right, final main segment. This is about automation and connecting to the real world, starting with something called MCP.
MCP, Model Context Protocol. The guide explained it pretty well. Think of them like secure digital bridges or maybe like stacking Lego blocks, but with data from different apps. Yeah. They let the AI, if you give it permission, access external software you use.
Right. And GenSpark apparently offers connections to hundreds of these. Things like Gmail, Google Calendar, Notion, even X-Twitter.
Yeah, 631 connections were mentioned. It's a lot.
So we gave it a task that used these connections, a cross-checking task. Scan my Gmail for the last 7 days and my Google Calendar for the next 7 days.
Okay.
And find any potential scheduling conflicts or maybe urgent tasks mentioned in emails that I might have missed putting on the calendar.
Whoa. Okay, that is a true personal assistant task.
Yeah.
Finding those things that fall through the cracks.
Yeah.
Like an email mentioning a deadline that isn't actually blocked out on your calendar yet. Or maybe spotting a double-booked meeting where you only accepted one invite.
The potential time management benefit there is huge.
Massive.
But, I'll admit, I still wrestle with prompt drift myself sometimes, trying to get the AI to do exactly what I want. And connecting my private data, my actual email, my calendar, it still feels inherently risky, obviously.
Yeah.
But you can see the potential, right? If you can get past that initial hurdle of trust, the assistant capability is just enormous. I totally get that hesitation. Which brings us nicely to maybe the most out there feature.
Right.
The AI Calling Agent.
Right.
This thing actually makes phone calls to real people.
Yeah. Makes the call, holds a conversation, apparently a pretty natural sounding one, and then it transcribes the key results back to you in the chat.
Okay, the example task for this was pretty involved too, a multi-step negotiation.
What was it? The prompt was basically, call this specific electronics store. Ask if they have a Sony Bravia X90L 55-inch TV in stock. Tell them a competitor is selling it for $2,500. Request a price match. And then critically ask exactly what documentation or proof you need to bring into the store to actually get that match price. Okay, that's not just asking a simple question. That's navigating a whole interaction, handling potential objections, asking clarifying questions. Exactly. And the AI supposedly handles that entire thread. It overcomes the initial let me check hurdles, does the negotiation part, and then reports back, okay, they agreed to $2,500, and you need to bring a printout of the competitor's ad. Managing that kind of multi-step, real-world communication completely autonomously, yeah, that's pretty sci-fi, like you said.
It really is. But linking back to the MCPs and security, what's the single most crucial piece of advice for users thinking about connecting sensitive data like email or calendars to something like GenSpark? Based on the guide, it's straightforward. Only connect tools and data sources that you absolutely trust and where you understand the security implications. Start small, maybe. So only connect tools you absolutely trust to maintain security. Makes sense. Okay, let's wrap this up. Bring it all together. The final verdict, the value proposition. What's the takeaway?
Well, the best feature, hands down, seems to be that multi-agent workflow for chat. giving just one prompt and getting back this synthesized best-of-breed answer from GPT-5, Claude, and Gemini simultaneously. That saves a massive amount of time and, frankly, mental energy.
It directly tackles that core pain point we started with, the AI ping pong.
Exactly. And then there's the value, $20 a month for that advanced chat, plus the image generation, the video tools, the slides, the sheets, the calling agent, and all those hundreds of MCP connections.
Yeah, you really can't get that breadth of functionality without stacking up several different subscriptions, which would definitely cost way more than $20.
For sure. Now, we did note limitations, right?
Huh.
The calling agent, while cool, apparently needs some refinement. There can be slight delays in the conversation flow still.
Okay.
And those AI slides, functional structure, good content start. But yeah, you'll need to polish the look and feel in another tool.
So knowing all that, who is this really for? Who gets the most value here?
I think it's ideal for content creators who need to generate different types of stuff quickly, entrepreneurs, maybe small teams who are juggling lots of tasks on a tight budget.
Mm-hmm.
And fundamentally, it's for anyone who's just plain tired of having 15 browser tabs open, copy and pasting prompts between different AI models all day.
Yeah, the tab switchers. So the big idea recap.
The main takeaway is that GenSpark really consolidates the utility of many different AI models into one place. It aims to provide good or solid capability across a whole range of tasks, which should reduce the complexity and the cognitive load for the user. It's about practical application. Okay? And if you, listening, decide you want to try it out, the advice was spend some time on day 1 or 2, setting up your profile context, defining your preferred style, your goals, right? Personalize it.
And then maybe use those detailed structured prompts we talked about today, like that Hanoi coffee prompt or the B2B sales training outline. Use those as templates to get the best results early on.
Good starting points.
So final thought then. We just talked about an AI that can potentially handle a multi-step price negotiation over the phone with a real person. If it can do that today, what's the actual limit for AI assistants accessing and, managing our real-world tasks maybe next year or the year after? Where does this capability lead?
That's the big question, isn't it? Something to definitely keep an eye on.